On June 14th, the Second Continental Congress established the Continental Army, and the following day appointed George Washington its commander. Just days later in Boston, on June 17th, a contingent of greatly outnumbered colonial defenders squared off against the vastly superior British Army at the Battle of Bunker Hill. Although the British ultimately took the high ground, they were shocked at the staggering number of casualties they suffered at the hands of the militia. Having proven once again that colonial forces could rival the regulars, Congress petitioned the king directly to address their grievances. Unmoved and unrelenting, King George III rejected Congress's olive branch petition. With reconciliation increasingly unlikely, Congress formed the Navy on October 13th, followed by the Marines on November 10th. Military engagements continued through the next year as popular support for full independence from Great Britain grew. In March 1776, after having fortified Dorchester Heights in Boston with the heavy cannon that Henry Knox brought from Fort Ticonderoga, Washington forced the besieged and surrounded British to evacuate Boston. However, by July, an armada of ships had arrived in New York carrying thousands of troops intent on crushing the rebellion once and for all. With the die cast, Congress made the fateful and final decision to formally break from their king. In signing the Declaration of Independence on July 4, 1776, the delegates pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to the glorious cause of independence. As they faced the formidable British war machine under General William Howe, the Continental Army lost battle after battle, desperately struggling to remain a viable fighting force. With New York lost, the cause seemed doomed. But hope was renewed after Washington's daring Christmas night crossing of the Delaware and his victories at Trenton and Princeton. However, by July 1777, the British had retaken Fort Ticonderoga and set their sights on capturing the rebel capital in Philadelphia. In September, Washington lost the hard-fought Battle of Brandywine. Anthony Wayne was devastated at the Battle of Paoli, and Philadelphia fell to the British. Although Washington lost again at the Battle of Germantown that October, the Patriots were faring much better in New York. Despite General Horatio Gates' reluctance, the brilliance and bravery of Benedict Arnold and Daniel Morgan delivered a turning-point victory for the Continentals at the Battle of Saratoga. Their success convinced France to openly support the Americans and formally enter the war. In December, Washington's army entered winter encampment at Valley Forge, where they endured tremendous hardships as heavy snow, starvation, and disease ran rampant throughout the camp. Amidst the deprivation and death, the troops soon embarked on an intensive training program under Prussian military advisor Baron von Steuben. Washington's army emerged that spring as a disciplined, well-trained fighting force, ready to pursue the British as they withdrew from Philadelphia. Clashing in New Jersey, the Americans claimed a major tactical victory at the Battle of Monmouth in June 1778. But the year ended with the British successfully capturing Savannah, Georgia. Many more battles ensued throughout 1779 as global support for the Americans continued to grow. In 1780, South Carolina took center stage. By May, British General Henry Clinton had captured the besieged city of Charleston, and in August, the Continentals suffered a major defeat at the Battle of Camden. Undeterred, Generals Nathaniel Greene and Daniel Morgan refused to yield South Carolina. In October, Loyalist forces were defeated at Kings Mountain, and the British were crushed at Cowpens in January 1781. Nathaniel Greene continued to menace the British, and in March he dealt Cornwallis's already weakened forces a severe blow at the Battle of Guilford Courthouse in North Carolina. In desperate need of reinforcements and supplies, Cornwallis headed for the port of Yorktown in Virginia to rendezvous with the British Navy. Held the British back at the Battle of the Chesapeake, while Washington and Rochambeau descended from the north in time to pin Cornwallis against the Atlantic Ocean and a French naval blockade. Unable to get resupplied or escape, the British surrendered to Washington's forces on October 19, 1781. Cornwallis's loss at Yorktown convinced the British government to negotiate for peace. On September 3, 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed, officially ending the war and recognizing the independence of the former British colonies.